Hello students, my name is Rone. I'm from Turiba University in Latvia, and in this video you will see about Mediation ABC, 20 slides about what is mediation and when to use it. So first of all, what is a mediation? Mediation is a voluntary process. It is absolutely confidential and it is led by the mediator, and the aim of the mediation is to resolve a dispute which the parties can have. Mediation is not a meditation, which possibly is confused by the students at times. So that is a dispute resolution process. The next one, who is a mediator? Mediator is a person, neutral person, a professional, who assists to the disputing parties in mediation. Mediator is skilled to lead the mediation process, and while he does the work, he observes mediation principles. In some countries there are certified and non-certified mediators, and according to laws of the particular countries, either one or another professional can lead the mediation process. Question number 3. How the mediation goes. So, a mediator organizes both common sessions and separate mediation sessions with both parties or separately. Mediator talks and allows to talk to the parties with the aim to help them settle the dispute. Mediator uses various techniques so the parties could easier get their solution. Number 4. What principles are observed in mediation? If we have a look at the theory books of mediation, we can see that there are either 3 up to 10 mediation principles listed. But here I have the main principles which are mostly used in mediation books. So that is neutrality principle, which means that neutrality from the subject of the dispute. Impartiality principle, which means that mediator is impartial from the parties. Independence principle, which means that mediator is not connected with any of the institutions which can possibly affect the outcome of the case. Principle number 4 is private autonomy and voluntariness principle. And number 5 is the confidentiality principle. And in the further slides we will analyze slightly step by step these 5 principles. So what does the neutrality principle mean? It means that the mediator is neutral regarding the subject of the dispute. Mediator doesn't have particular adverse or beneficial opinion about how the case should be resolved. So mediator freely and neutrally helps the parties to analyze their case. And mediator is not in any sense related with the dispute. Next question, what does impartiality principle mean? That means that the mediator will not assist to any of the parties. Mediator is equal to both of the parties. So all the questions, the attitude and the process will be organized in a way so both parties feel heard, feel supported and equally treated. Mediator will not be judging the parties and will not also defend the parties. That is the role of other professionals. Next question, what does independence principle mean? That means that the mediator is not impacted by any of the institutions. For instance, mediator wouldn't be able to lead the process, mediation process in the organization where mediator really works in, because the mediator would be then affected by the opinion of the organization which is supervising the work of the mediator. So therefore, mediator must be absolutely non-related with parties and the institutions or supervision bodies. So the question might arise also, what is private autonomy and what is voluntariness of the parties principle? Private autonomy means that the parties are free to choose how the mediation process will be organized, whether the parties will work for 1 hour or 2, whether the parties will return back to the next session. This is absolutely not possible while we organize a court hearing. In the mediation process, parties can freely impact the process and the length and the timing and the methods what are used in the process. And voluntariness principle means that the parties are free to join the mediation process and free to leave the mediation process, except for some countries where mediation must be compulsory, mandatory for some cases. In most of the world, mediation is voluntary, so parties can freely decide whether to engage in this process. Question number 9, confidentiality principle. Mediation process should be completely confidential, and we can speak about horizontal confidentiality and vertical confidentiality. Vertical confidentiality means that mediator is obliged to keep mediation secret. And horizontal confidentiality means that also both parties participating in the process must keep the information secret. Mediator may not be questioned later, neither by the court or by police institutions about process which happened in the mediation. So everything what has been said in mediation keeps and rests in the mediation process and may not be disclosed further. Good question can be asked why mediation is better than a court process. And with this, I'm not saying that mediation could be better. At cases it is better, at cases it is alternative. But it could be better because mediation usually is faster and it is saving your time. We know that the court calendars can be very busy, but the mediation process can be organized faster in a shorter period of time. So that saves a lot of your timing. Mediation also helps to maintain relationship between the parties. The court is quite an adverse process when the parties are fighting between each other, and instead of mediation, the mediator helps the parties to find a common solution and look for the common interests. Mediation is also flexible, so the parties can agree on different terms and timings. The court process is more strict, and also the mediation can help your saving financial resources. When going to the court, we have to pay the state fees, we have to pay for expertise, for lawyers' assistance. Mediation process can be quite more economy process. Question number 11, can a mediation process be also a failure? Well, to be true, yes, it can be a failure. If the parties cannot reach an agreement, then maybe that's a wasted time. Sometimes we also pay for the mediation process, so yes, we spend the money on that, so it is possible that the parties are not successful in the result. But all in all, looking back at the mediation processes, I can say that mediation helps the parties to understand better each other and helps to understand their own interests, their own needs, which helps further even in litigation process. We can ask also what happens if the mediation is successful. Well, it depends on the parties. Sometimes when the parties reach agreement, they just shake each other's hand and they leave the mediation room as friends. Sometimes the parties choose to sign a written agreement, and then a mediator can help here, or the lawyers of the parties can help to write this written agreement, which can further be submitted, for instance, to the court or to the notary for approval. We can also ask, can I return back to mediation if first time mediation process was not successful? Can I go back to mediation later? Of course, mediation can be used anytime. There are parties who go to mediation 1 year, then they litigate for some time, and then they return back to mediation to continue their conversations, and that can be quite a success. Another question, how long the mediation goes? And here we can talk about two lengths of the mediation. Mediation as one session and mediation as a process in totality. Usually mediation goes like 1 to 2 hours. Sometimes in commercial cases mediation can go longer, but mostly like 2 hours is a maximum efficient period of time. Then parties can come back to mediation sessions again and again. And depends very much on the parties. Some sign the agreement after 1 hour of talking, and for some they return back to conversations for days and days later. So it depends really on the parties, on complexity of issues. Question number 15. Are there always common sessions in the mediation process? Well, no. Mediator is free to organize common sessions and individual sessions. Common sessions are organized when it is important to hear both opinions of the parties at the same time. But if the questions are more sensitive, or if the mediator wants to talk with the parties separately to understand their opinion better, then individual sessions are possible. It depends very much on the mediator's techniques which the particular person is using, and also on the level of disputes between the parties. Question number 16. Can a lawyer help in mediation process? Yes, lawyers can help, but actually lawyers can do the both. Lawyers can also ruin the process if the lawyers are very aggressive and reminds the parties about their positions, strict and legal positions. And lawyers can also be helpful if they allow their clients to talk and if they help the clients to look at the deeper interests and values in the case. Sometimes people ask, is mediation a psychotherapy? No, mediation is not a psychotherapy, because only a therapy can rebuild the mind, but mediation process is arranged to help the parties to negotiate and find their agreement. Mediator is not a trained therapist, although at times mediators are using similar techniques. Next question, what I will have to do in mediation? So the parties sometimes are hesitant if they don't know what mediation will bring. Parties will have to talk. Well, not have to talk. Parties are invited to talk in mediation process to disclose their interests and values and needs, and mediator will assist the parties to express their opinion one by one. Mediator can also use some creative techniques like drawing or writing of visualization issues, or organize a brainstorm session. So depends on the mediator how creative the personality is and which method can be helpful for the parties. And the final question is, do I need to try a mediation? Well, absolutely yes. Mediation is a nice chance to resolve the situation on your own. If you go to the court or arbitration, then you know that the judge will be the one who will resolve your dispute strictly based on your legal possibilities. But if the parties go to the mediation, they have in their hands a chance to resolve their dispute on their own in the manner they want to do that. So thank you for watching, and please read more our materials on mediation. Good luck!